So if you've already finished If Wishes Could Kill on Netflix, first of all, same, because that ending left us with a lot of questions. The show follows a group of friends whose lives completely flip after they come across a wish-granting app. Sounds great, right? Except every wish comes with a price, and that price is your life. Over 8 episodes, they're basically in a race against time to break the curse and avoid a brutal death. By the end, the curse situation does get resolved, at least for now. But here's the thing. Not everything gets wrapped up neatly, and that's exactly why we need to talk about whether a Season 2 is actually happening. Limited series status. Now, the show was written by Park Jung-sup, and it was always intended to be a limited series. The cursed app, called Girigo, is haunted by an evil spirit, and by the end of the season, that spirit is defeated and the main characters are saved. So on paper, it feels like a complete story. But here's the thing. The label limited series has been dropped plenty of times before when a show blows up and the streaming platform decides to keep it going. So that label alone doesn't necessarily close the door. Why Season 2 could still happen. And honestly, there are some pretty strong reasons to think Netflix could greenlight another season. For starters, that mid-credits scene. The app isn't gone. It's still sitting right there on Nari's phone, and Nari, who is supposed to be dead, had already started turning into a vengeful spirit of her own by the end of the season. So with the app still active and Nari still somehow in the picture, it really feels like trouble is just waiting to start up again. And the main squad could be pulled right back into the same cycle all over again. The Hatsal mystery, a Season 2 storyline. But that might not even be the main focus of Season 2. One of the most compelling unresolved mysteries in the show is, why can't Hatsal leave her compound? She's a powerful shaman who literally fights evil entities, but she's still somehow bound to the periphery of that compound. And by the end, Bangwoo tells her he's found a way to change that for her. We still don't know the backstory behind her gifts or why she's been confined there. And that's a huge thread just hanging open. There's a real possibility that Season 2 could center on Hatsal's story, maybe exploring how she originally wished to become a shaman and what price she had to pay for it. That would let the show explore a completely new story while staying true to the core themes of Season 1. Who could return? Now let's talk cast. Given those dangling plot threads, there's a good chance we'd see Kang Mina return as Nari, Jeon Soni as Hatsal, and Ro Jae-won as Bangwoo. Nari's ambiguous death and her connection to the app make her a natural returning character. And with so much focus on Hatsal and Bangwoo's story, they could actually become the primary protagonists in Season 2. Depending on where the story goes, the main cast could also come back. That includes Jeon So-young as Seo, Baek Sun-ho as Gyeon-woo, and Hyun Woo-seok as Ha-jun. Chu probably won't return. On the flip side, Lee Hyo-jae's Hyun-wook is very unlikely to return. His character met a pretty brutal end. Unless, of course, a future season goes back in time, which is always a possibility with a show like this. And with the app's origins already resolved and its spirits dealt with, the show's creators might not want to recycle the same villains either. That means Season 2 would likely introduce a new evil spirit and new characters to shake things up, giving the audience a genuinely fresh chapter while keeping the world intact. So, will If Wishes Could Kill actually get a Season 2? Nothing's confirmed yet, but the story clearly has more to tell. And if the show performs well on Netflix, don't be surprised if that limited series label quietly disappears. Let me know in the comments. Do you want a Season 2? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.